Lebanon has some of the most corrupt politicians and divided political sects and movements in the world. Each of them is controlled by Western influences, namely the US, the UK and France, either directly through the UN or through the use of other countries like Iran and Saudi Arabia. The Western states meddling in Lebanon's political affairs is part of a wider regional context or plan focused on controlling, fighting, resource exploitation and land annexation and crisis creation, such as controlling countries like Syria, Palestine, Pakistan, Kashmir and other neighboring Muslim countries. The ordinary people in Lebanon have lost all confidence in the politicians and elites and have been on the streets for the past few months protesting and voicing their disgust at the corruption taking place. The lack of electricity, water, jobs and even simple services like bins being collected has left people suffering and struggling to meet their basic needs or to live an ordinary life. People are only granted water and electricity for a limited number of hours during the day, and for the rest of the time they have to rely on purchasing from owners of generators or large power banks and building additional water tanks for supplies during the rest of the hours. The recent economic problems have left the lira at an all-time low, prices of basic goods and services rising and wages falling. People are no longer able to withdraw money from their bank accounts, and those who were able to are being handed money in the lira currency according to the new exchange rate, which means that the value of their money has dropped, making them a loss. The recent explosion in Beirut was a result of almost 3,000 metric tons of ammonium nitrate not stored safely for more than 9 years. This explosion was not a matter of incompetence, but rather carelessness about the condition of the people. The only thing on the minds of the elites is any opportunity to fill their pockets, all of this at the expense of the people. But this is not the underlying reason behind the explosion. The explosion, alongside the continuous scandals, corruption, occupation and suffocation of the whole region, is the result of the meddling of the Western states in the Levant over the last 100 years.
رويترز هي اديني ايدك كنا نازلين على الموتوسيكل اريد اخر الدنيا لا لقيت كوبر هون ما تشوف شو
Lebanon's President Michael Aoun said on Friday an investigation would examine whether external interference through a rocket or bomb or other act played a role in the blast. He has previously blamed negligence in the storage of highly explosive material for years at the port. Also on Thursday, Lebanon's ambassador to Jordan announced her resignation, saying total negligence by the country's authorities signaled the need for leadership change. Since the Sykes-Picot Agreement and the continuous plotting, scheming and dividing of the region by the hands of the Western states, the people, irrespective of their religious backgrounds in the Levant, have seen nothing but misery. Trust in institutions is low, and few on Beirut's streets hold out hope for an impartial inquiry. The country's ruling class has long been accused of ineptitude and corruption, and has become the target of a protest movement that began in October demanding systematic change, including no interference from Western states. The small Mediterranean nation has since been gripped by its worst economic crisis since the 1975 to 90s war, further fueling anti-government sentiments. Gone are the days when the needs and the rights of the people were secured, where the people lived side by side under the shade of the Khilafah in harmony and tranquility. The state of Lebanon was a creation of the European colonialists nearly 100 years ago and was divided through a confessionalism system where different sects would share rule. This ensured no one faction could dominate the nation's politics and has been the source of the country's divided and factional politics. After being described as the Paris of the Middle East, the decades-long civil war and now government failure has revealed Lebanon is now the latest failed project exported from the West. This political bomb is as devastating as the explosion in Beirut itself.